You are about to reach the flow state of hair growth. In this video, you will understand exactly why microneedling is hindering your results for hair growth. Microneedling for your scalp has been taken over by social media by the storm. And every and each person is doing microneedling at home for hair growth. But here is why microneedling yourself at home is actually causing you more scalp and hair problems than you can actually imagine. And here is what no one is telling you. Social media is a platform for trends. When somebody starts to use something and it goes viral, other people start using it or doing that specific trend without actually thinking about the consequences that it is causing not only them, but also the people who are watching. That means you. Here I am going to tell you the truth because I care about you and your hair growth results. So there are a few specific kinds of apparatus for microneedling. So there are these types of ones. These are roller ones that people use on their scalp like this. And then there are these ones. This is our Dr. Pen. This one is the Hydro Pen. It has the needle that contains the serum, and then this is another one that contains the needle, and it has, like, you can use 12, 24, 48 and nano needles. Now, what happens when you microneedle at home? Well, when you are microneedling at home, you are basically using this kind, 0.5 to 1 mm. You are an amateur, so obviously you're going to use this one. Now what happens is when you microneedle at home, right? A lot of people on social media, there are a lot of horror stories on social media using microneedling, causing infections and further causing damage, not only to the skin of the scalp, but also the hair follicles, which causes scabbing, which causes miniaturization of the hair follicle, and therefore no hair growth. So what generally happens is you take this, you take a part, and then you microneedle like this, and you microneedle like this, right? So now what is happening is when you are using a microneedle like this, some of you are actually disinfecting it with alcohol, and some of you aren't. Now for those people who are not disinfecting this apparatus before using it with alcohol, and then you are not actually disinfecting the area with alcohol on your scalp, that's when it's causing problems. Because remember, your scalp has its own microbiome, right? So when your scalp has its own microbiome, it produces sebum. It contains a lot of dirt and bacteria from the general environment that we live in. When you are not sanitizing that specific area on your scalp and you are microneedling in that area, so let's say there is dirt sitting on your scalp, there is airborne particles, anything that's flying in the air that you don't see with the human naked eye. When you are microneedling, you're pushing all of that stuff inside of your follicles. Now what is happening is it's causing more inflammation. So sometimes what's going to happen, it's going to cause a lot of redness. You're going to start to get scalp acne, and then you might start to even bleed, and it will get worse and worse over time by just getting inflamed. And you won't be able to control this, and therefore you're going to cause permanent damage on nerve endings on your scalp. Okay? When you go to a clinic to get professional microneedling for hair growth on your scalp, they use things like this, or even a more professional one, which is a very bigger equipment. Now what they do is, first of all, before they go in to each area, they will take an alcohol pad and they will disinfect that area. Next, they know exactly at what speed to use this, how much depth to use it at. So basically you're supposed to use nano needles. You're not supposed to use like these 12, 24, or 42 ones. And those people are professionals. They know how to take care of your scalp, and they are able to physically see your scalp if there are any pimples on your scalp, if there are certain areas that need to be avoided on your scalp. They are able to see all of that you are not able to see. You don't take the time to go into each area and sanitize it first, apply serum, and then use this apparatus in small circular motions to create enough microchannels for the hair serum to go in and work. A proper salon, a proper spa will take that time. So you are not doing it on the same professional level as they are. They are trained for it and you are not. Now, because I am trained for it, I still don't microneedle my scalp because I use the Miracle hair duo. The hair essence has enough power with 11 targeted peptides that work together synergistically to help bring the serum down to the hair bulb and work on the dermapapilia. So I do not need to do any type of microneedling on my scalp. And the reason I also avoid it is because I have a lot of inflammation already on my scalp and I have scalp acne. So I don't want to further enhance that, and I don't want the infection to spread in case I pop a pimple or something. But I do have these because I use microneedling for my face. But it is very important to understand that just because something is going viral on social media and everybody is using a Dermaroller like this with minoxidil, it is not something that you should do, and it is not a trend that you should follow without considering the ramifications that you might have to deal with afterwards. Using a Dermaroller like this with minoxidil on the same day and on the same time is damaging your hair follicles and your nerve endings more than you know. It might not show what the damage is at that time for a lot of people, but they will experience the damage over time, and therefore they will experience further follicle miniaturization and hair loss over a period of time, and then blame it on minoxidil that it is not working. But actually they are destroying their nerve endings in their hair follicles with a Dermaroller like this. So before you go ahead and you start considering these types of trends on social media, always do your research. And when you do your research, try to use Google Scholar, because Google Scholar has peer-reviewed papers where you can actually find the correct information that is cited many, many times over with other professors and other doctors. If you use plain Google or ChatGPT, you might not get the information that is required for you to know before you go ahead and use very dangerous, I would say, very dangerous things that you are doing at home that you should not be doing. For other things like maybe skincare, even there was a skincare trend where people were using the ordinary serum, the red one, the AHA and BHA peel, and they were putting it on their face before. First, they were microneedling their face, putting that on and leaving it on for 30 minutes, and they literally burnt their face off, which is why it got discontinued in Canada. So you need to be very careful when it comes to anything with hair, anything with skin, anything with internal in the body. With food, it's okay, you can experiment if you want to, but you have to be very careful with trends on social media and always go to people who are credible, who you can trust. I have 15 years of pharmaceutical experience working with patients one-on-one, and I have a trichology license. So I have done extensive research and I have a lot of experience in the field about medications and pharmaceuticals. So I know exactly how drugs work in the body, the adverse effects, and exactly what happens on the microbiology level that you might not be able to understand. Being very mindful when you are microneedling your scalp. I know I got a lot of messages on Instagram talking about how they were microneedling and how they faced a lot of problems on their scalp and they faced a lot of infections, and then they come and ask me, how can I reverse it? There is no way I can reverse that for you, because you are supposed to think before doing that, or you should ask me before doing that. But when I tell people don't do it, they think that because I don't want them to have hair growth, that's why I'm telling them not to do it. But that is not true. I am here to help you, to get you to grow more hair on your head every single day, and to keep more of what you already have, and not to only keep what you already have, but to improve what you already have, to grow new hair, to grow better hair and have better hair texture, to help improve your life, to build more self-confidence, and to have more self-esteem. So if you have any more questions about microneedling, I have covered the basics, but if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And I would love to hear your experiences. If you've microneedled your scalp and you have suffered any type of infection or any type of hair loss further, let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to read your stories and I do reply to everyone.